Okay, we're going to take a look at how to create an animated GIF kind of with some customized things that you might want to do. So I have Homer here looking at a donut swinging on a string. You can see that over in my layers it's all sandwiched into one layer, which is going to make it hard to animate. So first thing I need to do is I'm going to separate out the layers that I want to move. So the setup of this involves going ahead and getting the donut on its own layer. You can use any selection tool you want, but I'm just going to go ahead and use the lasso tool and drag the little box around. And I will just go ahead and do Command J here to put that up onto its own layer. So you can see there's the donut. I of course don't want the white, or it'd be a little bit easier if I get rid of the white, so I'll take the magic wand, which is W, and do Command X, and I'll even go in and get the inside and do Command X. So now I have a donut on its own layer. I can also, on this Homer layer himself, I need to get rid of his eyeballs because I'm going to have the eyes follow. So I can get rid of the eyes by taking the eyedropper tool, picking up the white of his regular eyes, then I'll take the brush and I'll simply just paint his eyes out. Now it's a little bit off, right, especially on this left hand eye, I get a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and take some of the orange as well, using the eyedropper, and bring some of that orange in, just to make it good. So there's my eyeless Homer. The last thing I need to do is to go ahead and get rid of the donut that I don't want to be there the whole time. So again, I'll take the eyedropper tool and I'll just grab a nice big brush this time and I'll just paint that bad boy out of there. So there you have it, no eyes and Homer. Now the other thing that I want to move, of course, is eyes, so I'll go ahead and call this the donut layer, and I also need a new layer, and I'm going to call that the eyes layer. I'll come on down the eyes. I want my eyes to be black, so I'll choose a black color, and I'll use the brush again, and I'll shrink that down, and hopefully at about size 6, I can paint one eye, paint the second eye. Now I might zoom out and see if I like those eyes. I'm not a huge fan, so I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. That eye, and I'll do it again on that eye. Now that looks a little bit better, at least good enough for the tutorial's sake. So now I have the Homer layer himself, the eyes layer, and the donut layer. So now all we got to do is get these animated. The process of doing that, I'm going to go ahead and do all the donut first, and then I'll come back and do the eyes second after that. So to do the donut, I want to just create a duplicate layer, so do Command J. And now I'm going to swing this donut around. Now I can swing it using the transform tool, or the move tool, which is V on your keyboard. Before I start trying to swing it though, this point that we see in the center is called the rotation point. And right now if I rotate this, it'll rotate, you can see, around that point. Well, what I really want it to do is rotate from the top of the string, so I can pick up that rotation point and move it all the way to the corner here. And now when I rotate, see, it'll rotate on that swing. So I'm going to go ahead and just move it basically an entire donut's length each time. Do Command, I'll say Enter there, Command J again, and again I move the rotation point to the string, rotate it around, Enter, Command J, move the rotation point, always going right to the center of that string so it kind of swings well, and Enter, and Command J, and this will be the last one that I do, put it on the point, and bring it around. Okay, so now I've got these kind of 5 points that this donut will swing upon, so that's good to go. And now I'll go ahead and kind of do the eyes. Actually, I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to do the animation first. So we'll go ahead and animate this so that just the donut swinging. To do that, we've learned in previous tutorials that I can just click on the little context menu under my timeline, the little context menu here. I forgot to set that mark. And I can make frame from layers. And you can see now it makes a little donut swinging layer. Now I have a problem that on my other layers where the donut's swinging, I'm missing my Homer and my other guys, which is okay, and there might have been a better step here, but I'm going to go ahead and say no. I'm going to delete just the eyes layer. And then on these specific layers, 2, 3, 5, and 6, and 7, I'm going to come back and I'm going to bring back my Homer. So I can bring him back on each of these layers. And so now when I play this, I have a swinging donut. Okay, so that's really nice. Let's go ahead then and do the opposite, or do the next step, which is to bring the eyes back. Now in this case, my eyes are looking in the right location, so now I come to frame 3, bring the eyes back, take my move tool, and I can kind of move them a little bit, and I'm just going to use the arrow keys because it'll kind of keep things a little more consistent for me. So I come to here, and the eyes would now have gone all the way up. I come to layer 5, and I take the eyes, and I move them all the way over, looking at the donut. And 6, take the eyes, I back out a little bit here, but again I take them up and over. And now as I play it, you can see I have a much effect that's working for me. Now the last step here, and I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this first one because it's kind of a weird no blank eyes guy. I'm going to go delete that. The last step here is if I want that to swing back and forth in reverse, then I simply am going to need to duplicate these layers. So number 5 I duplicate as number 6. Number 4 I'll duplicate that and move it down. Number 3 duplicate, move it down. Number 2 duplicate, move it down. And finally number 1 duplicate and move it down as well. Now as I play this, it swings back and forth and back and forth. I'll go ahead and get rid of that. And now I have a swinging donut effect. Now I could have done more donuts and it would have kind of slowed it down a little bit. I can go in and I can change the duration of these, say to go 0.1 second delay. But that is how you can make a quick animation in Photoshop using multiple layer things like that. Again, the last steps to get this kicked out, we go to File, Save for Web. I would want to make sure that the looping was turned on to be forever, set to GIF. I'll save the transparency, colors, and everything should be good there. And you would say save and you would be good to go.